I'd like to call the City of Apache Junction City Council meeting of February 18th, 2025 to order and ask everyone to put their cell phones on silent. The invocation will be led by Councilmember Heck, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be done by Councilmember Nesser.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege and freedom we have of being able to gather together this evening to discuss city business. We ask that you give the staff and council wisdom and clarity in their decision-making. Keep us mindful that we serve the residents of this city. We ask you to watch over the men and women who serve in our military the world over. Keep them safe in these turbulent and troubling times. We ask also for your blessing on our first responders, including our police and fire departments, along with our EMS personnel. Please keep these brave men and women safe in their duties to protect and care for the residents of this city. And we ask for you to watch over the men and women who will be participating this weekend in the Lost Dutchman Days Rodeo. Please keep them safe, and that will be an enjoyable time for all those who come to enjoy it. Thank you for the honor and privilege we have to serve the residents of this great city. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Wilson,
Here.
Vice Mayor Schroeder,
Present.
Councilmember Cross,
Here.
Councilmember Heck,
Here.
Councilmember Johnson,
Here.
Councilmember Nesser,
Present.
Councilmember Soller.
Here.
You have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. Consent agenda. As a reminder, all items in the consent agenda will be approved with one motion. If a council member wishes to remove an item for further discussion, the request will be made prior to performing the approval of the consent agenda, and we move to new business. Do I have a motion for a consent agenda?
Mayor,
Yes.
I move that the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Cross,
Yes.
Councilmember Heck,
Yes.
Councilmember Soller,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Proclamation. I have a proclamation here for human trafficking awareness, not in our city. Whereas human trafficking is a global plague that impacts millions of people each year, including tens of thousands of Americans across the demographics of all ages. And whereas the United States ranks as one of the worst countries globally for human trafficking, and Arizona ranks in the top 15 states with the highest rates of human trafficking per capita. And whereas the battle against human trafficking includes supporting efforts in schools, churches, nonprofits, law enforcement, businesses to intervene, disturb, and dismantle human trafficking syndicates and provide resources and to support for victims of human trafficking. And whereas the City of Apache Junction joins schools, churches, nonprofit organizations, law enforcement, federal and state coalitions, and the Not in Our City organization movement in our commitment to increase public awareness of human trafficking epidemic that impacts our community. Now, therefore, I, Chip Wilson, Mayor of the City of Apache Junction, do hereby proclaim human trafficking awareness not in our city. And is Scott September here? Okay, well, we'll get that to him. Thank you. Regional intergovernment updates from the council.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I just want to let people know that both yourself and I went to the state capitol this past week, and we're sitting in on several different bills that are trying to be passed through the legislature right now. And so that, we're trying to stay on top of things and stay aware of all of the different bills that are out there. And just want people to know that we're doing the best we can to hopefully get bills passed that are in favor of our community, and bills that aren't in favor, get them thrown out. So the other thing I want to mention is Lost Dutchman Days this weekend starts on Friday with the rodeo. And tonight I'm wearing pink as for the Tough Enough to Wear Pink cowboy setup, to where, it brings awareness to breast cancer. And just about all rodeos usually start the first day with Tough Enough to Wear Pink. And just thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, well, I've got a few things that I wanted to, oh, yeah, Peter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
I wasn't sure where that was. Okay, yeah. A number of city council members had the opportunity to take a helicopter tour of the watershed here in Arizona. It was incredibly informational, very exciting to get an idea, to understand how these water companies are managing this water. And it's far too involved to really talk about in detail, but I will tell you, it's encouraging to understand these water companies are extraordinarily diligent in making and doing everything they can to assure that we have an adequate water supply well into the future. It's amazing, it really is. So thank you to SRP for making that happen.
Okay. I had the opportunity, like what Cross was talking about, going before and speaking before our state legislators, and this was on the food tax that they are trying to take away from us. And it is something that is, they listened to me, yes, and they did respond to some of the things that I had brought up. But unfortunately, it still did pass the committee, and it was 5-4. But they talked about doing some amendments to it. They're going to lessen the impact to us. One of the things I encourage our citizens to definitely contact your legislators, because there is several bills before our legislation that will affect our way of life in our community, from zoning restrictions to the largest lot size for a zoning area is 1,500 square foot. And of course, we have large lots right now for people that want to have the large lots or want to even have animals. Well, if you put that 1,500 square foot property on it, you got over 25 homes on that little over an acre. And no off-street parking is required. Cities cannot mandate it, so everyone's going to be double parked alongside the road, triple parked, in fact. So we definitely need to let our legislators know. I had 2 opportunities to talk to our legislators this past few weeks, and it is something that I'm there. I have been there several times, and I will continue going to represent the community. And again, we're trying to make sure that we save our community the way we want it, not what the legislators want to have. State of the city was a successful area that we had done, and we had done it in this wedding venue on South Star Road, and they have a beautiful layout in the aspect on it for Superstition Mountain, as you can see in the background. It's a fantastic view. It's a great event, and it was successful. I did see that we're seeing several people that have been attendants to it that have complimented us on it, on how fantastic it was. But I also want to say everything went smoothly, and want to express my thanks to city staff in helping making this a memorable event for everyone to enjoy. This past weekend was the annual marathon, and I had the privilege of starting several of the races. We had over 2,800 people that were registered. They haven't come up with a grand total yet of the number that participated. But these races went off very well, and it was exciting to see the participants, and especially celebrating their awards, the medals that they got after they completed. It was a fun event for everybody that participated. We had people participating from 47 of our states, from Canada, many Canadian, not countries, excuse me, I lost the name. They're provinces, there we go, in Canada. We had a couple from other countries as well. Great Britain was mentioned, Malaysia and Germany were called out as they crossed the finish line. Ages were as young as a 7-year-old, and I got to talk to her. She was excited when she crossed the finish line. She told me she had fun doing this event, and was all excited about her medal that she got. It was also an individual that crossed the finish line. Unfortunately, I couldn't get near him and ask him how he was wonderful, because he was surrounded by his fellow, not only members that ran with him, but also family members that came out. He was 79 years old. So I say there's hope for all of us in that one.
There you go, Brian.
Our police chief also ran the 8K, and he successfully made it back all in one pace. And the vice mayor's wife even ran the 8K.
Oh, really?
And saw her coming back, but she was busy. I was going to head straight home, I guess.
I'm usually roped into that every year, but I'm a different engagement.
This was enjoyed by everybody, and definitely everyone made it back safely. So it was a fantastic event, and it was enjoyed by everyone. Okay, one of the things that I got in the mail today was my Arizona Highways magazine. And if you go back to the back, there is an ad in there, and I love it, sitting in with an article about Sedona. And here is Discover Phoenix's best local getaway destination, Apache Junction. It is fantastic. So I encourage you to go out, and if you don't have the magazine, go buy one. And definitely save it. It is something that's unique about us. And of course, we're in conjunction with Sedona where the article is, and it is right in the middle of it. So they're talking about Sedona all around us, and here we say, come to a Phoenix best local getaway destination, Apache Junction. And thanks for putting this all together. Okay. City Manager's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Bryant Powell, City Manager. Just to add with the marathon, to make it happen, we have over 800 volunteers in different groups and organizations that help make it possible. It's a tremendous effort, like we do in Apache Junction for so many, that helps allow for us to bring those dollars back into our community. I'm looking forward to this year. We're on our 24th year of the marathon, not even the 25th, and we're looking upwards to $1 million that has come back. So they haven't made an announcement yet, and we'll look forward to hearing that. Chief was in third.
You started out at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, now, so I do get up early. That's one of my favorite mornings of the year. I help the Rotary Club put up signs. So none of us are immune. We all need to help out and lift a little, right? And we get the signs up, and get everybody at least oriented the best we can up towards either Prospector or over to the rodeo grounds. Now, Chief, third place is super strong in your age bracket, right? No, hopefully
Third?
Third, yeah. We're hoping for second place or even first place next time.
Is that the fun run, Chief?
Yeah. Actually, it's awesome that he can do it. I still I would, I get up early and do some of the sign setup, but I can't even run to first base anymore. So, I mean, the chief running
I'll get him
that
to
is
come in
super
first.
awesome.
I'll just drive behind him with a car and push him a little bit.
There you go. Mayor and council, in all seriousness, these issues that are going on over at the state legislature are prime in our minds, dealing with revenue sources that help run and fund local government services that our residents utilize and expect. And we are now facing not just a $1.5 million hit from the residential rentals that the state government exempts us from, of local control to do what you would like to do in your community. This number is up to 12% of our transaction privilege tax with our retail, because we do not have a property tax, hits us significantly, upwards to 3.5 million. So you start adding those numbers up, it starts to become, a sixth of our entire general fund over a 2-year period. And so we're watching this very closely and communicating the best we can to, at our levels, at the staff level, to help understand that what impact this would have in terms of putting pressure on local governance, to having you all decide how you would work through that. 50% of our general fund is public safety, because we don't have a public works department, water, sewer, and roads are all separate. And then when you look at the fire district, it's separate. So it would be significant impact to our operations. And with that, we will have Rob Whistler with us in 2 weeks to give us an update on some of these legislative items, so that you can have an update on where those are at. And then lastly, I'm really excited to present before the community and to you, our newest employee, Ryan Kaup, who is with us now as our Economic Development Director. Would ask Ryan to please come forward and introduce himself to the community. I'll just briefly say, is an Arizona State graduate, and also comes to us most recently after an 11-year career in working with the City of Chandler's Economic Development. Ryan?
All right. Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. Once again, my name is Ryan Kaup, and really, first and foremost, just wanted to state how excited I am to be here. There's a lot of opportunities ahead in Apache Junction. My previous 11-year career has all been with the City of Chandler, and through that, I've really seen the full range of economic development projects. So I've worked Fortune 500 headquarters relocation projects to startups, retailers that are in high demand, manufacturers, R&D users, back office prospects. And now obviously here in Apache Junction, a younger community, a little bit earlier on the timeline. So we won't see some of those projects quite yet, but we will continue to progressively see bigger projects, and I'm really excited for that. A rough sketch of my vision and plans for the department is the next few months really digging into the fundamentals, learning the pros and cons of Apache Junction, understanding the infrastructure here, seeing where those opportunities are, getting to know key staff, business owners, and a lot of the property owners as well. And then rest of the year, moving forward from that, we're really gonna get out there to the real estate community. So we're gonna go meet with the brokers, the developers, the key decision makers in Phoenix, the Camelback area, Scottsdale, who I have a lot of relationships with, start telling the story of Apache Junction, letting them know the opportunities, getting their feedback, and making sure that we're sharing information back and forth. And on that note, I know that the downtown site, the land the city owns, is very important to mayor and council, and understandably so. I would tell you moving forward, I can't guarantee that we'll get a great submittal next time, but I promise you we will get this site in front of a lot more people the next go around. We'll be bringing this up during these meetings, brainstorming potential options here, trying to get some very quality developers taking a look at this site, and I'm confident we will have much more eyes on the site the next go around, so more to come on that for sure. A few of my key focus areas for the team and where I see the most important priorities are 6 main areas. So business attraction, business retention, downtown, tourism, marketing, and research. Now, that's a lot, especially for a team of 2. So we're going to need to stay very focused on those areas to have success. I've seen in my experience, it's very easy for economic development teams to get pulled in a lot of directions. And when that happens, it's hard to have success in any one of those areas. So a key focus for me is staying very, very focused in those areas. And I'm confident we'll have a lot of success. And then kind of the last item to leave you with tonight is I just wanted to state that Apache Junction will absolutely start getting more and more looks from bigger projects over time. And I want to let you know when this starts happening. It's going to be very exciting for council, staff, the community. And when we get there, lean on me, our team, and we'll give you, my professional guidance on these projects, what to be looking out for, where we can potentially push for even a little better projects. I've seen, multiple areas throughout the region that are really trying to get projects, and when they first start coming, they jump at the first thing that comes. And sometimes if they wait just a little bit more or push on the right areas, they can get a much better project for the long term. And so, working these bigger projects that I've seen in my decade-plus career, I can give you a lot of guidance on, what to look out for and how we can get those best projects. So I'm only in week 2 right now. I'll be doing a lot of reading, listening, learning. The results will absolutely start coming as we set the foundation and then be very aggressive to get out there and get Apache Junction out there in the real estate community and get eyes on the community. So with that, I'm really looking forward to getting to know all of you in the weeks and months to come, and really looking forward to getting to work. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Ryan.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's good to have you. You'll find that we're not too much different than Chandler, just better.
Love it.
A little bit different location.
Your Honor, this concludes my report. Without, just one last thing, a huge thank you to Mr. Matthew McNulty for the video and the work that he did on State of the City. It's behind the scenes always, and did a great job with that, and Kayla and her team on State of the City. It really was a great night.
Here on that one. I also want to make one comment to aspect of how we need to stay on top of the legislators. If for some reason that we lose this, I'll say tax from us, there's also a bill that's going to be facing us. They're saying that that if we decrease our police budget, we can lose state shared revenue. And since our police officers' salary is 50% of our budget, they would be getting the majority of the, I'm going to say not majority of it, but a huge part of the decrease, because they are the biggest recipient of this. And there's no exceptions. They say if you decrease the police budget, you will lose. So that's something else we need to even pay attention to as well, because that would definitely, it hurts us beginning with what they've done away with, but also what would potentially do even more so harm. Okay. Announcements on current events. Eli.
Evening, Mayor, City Council. This is our last plug for Lost Dutchman Days, which has been brought up already tonight. The rodeo takes place over 3 days, the 21st, the 22nd, and the 23rd, which is next weekend. This is also kind of the last chance that we have to tell you, or the community, to plan ahead to get your tickets. So tickets were being sold at the Chamber of Commerce. That's kind of concluded now, the pre-sale tickets. So if you don't have a ticket yet, your last chance is to show up Friday morning on the 21st at 9 a.m. before 10:30 a.m., and they'll be selling tickets at the front gate for all 3 days of the event. And then happening during the same time as the rodeo, for the majority of those 3 days, is the carnival, which has also been talked about a little bit already tonight. There'll be rides there, and you can get tickets at the front gate as you come in, or tickets for the rides on the inside of the event. And finally, the Lost Dutchman Days Parade is taking place the second day of the rodeo on the 22nd at 9 a.m. And you can join in downtown Apache Junction for this event near the focal point and find a place to watch the parade go by. And that concludes the events for this week. Thank you.
Thanks, Eli.
Thank you. Okay, public hearings. Items number 10 and 11 are related in the same subject matter. After hearing staff's presentation, I will combine the public hearings, but we will have separate motions for each one. Nick. Oh, I was supposed to read them first. Presentation and discussion, public hearing, and discussion of ordinance number 1563, and presentation and discussion and public hearing, consideration for resolution number 25-01. Nick.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm Nick Leftwich, planner for the City of Apache Junction Development Services Department, and tonight I'll be presenting this case. As this is a follow-up to the presentation that I gave 2 weeks ago at the City Council work session, I'm just planning on giving a high-level overview of these points for the benefit of the public and just as a refresher. So this text amendment is focused on involving the City Council in the land use decisions for conditional use permits, especially as was identified for major lasting and impactful land use decisions that are made currently through conditional use permits per the land use table of the zoning ordinance. This was initially brought up as the council had noted concerns regarding the lasting impact of some of these land use decisions that are on par with the kind of land use decisions that are already currently made with rezonings, but because they were processed through the conditional use permit process, they were land use decisions that were never even brought to the City Council. And so following that direction and looking for ways to incorporate the City Council in these land use decisions, staff presented a few options, a few different mechanisms by which to do so, following which we were directed January 16th of 2024 last year to review the zoning ordinance and to modify the land use tables themselves in order to find a way to incorporate City Council involvement in these matters. Just as a brief overview, conditional use permits themselves are permits that currently go to the Planning and Zoning Commission to review for land uses that are permitted by right in the zoning district, but which require individual overview for items such as their location, design, operation, configuration. We reviewed the land use tables and everything that is noted by a conditional use permit, and we reviewed them based on the criteria of what deserves the City Council involvement. Three main criteria, the first of which is this land use truly conditional? As in, is there some aspect of its operation that requires management that could be revoked for failing to meet operational standards, or is it something that is permanent and not conditional in its nature? The second evaluation criteria was, is the land use of such high or significant impact that the decision would best be made by the City Council, by elected leadership? High impact meaning exceptional levels of activity that affect the nature of the property and those around it, and significant impact, specifically noting things that are sensitive to the community, whether for political weight or significance. And then the third criteria is the land use decision better served through a more permanent change, such as rezoning or plan development, in order to better meet the zoning categories and the zoning definitions. So with these criteria and this evaluation, staff have revised the Article 1.5 zoning bulk and use regulation land use tables. This City Council involvement has been incorporated into the code with the inclusion of a footnote noting which conditional use permits would go to the City Council for final decision and approval. And additionally, some changes such as symbology have been updated to facilitate ease in reading. Following the last meeting as well, there have been some changes as directed by Council. Notably, column headings have been added to every page for ease of reading. A couple of the use items have been noted to be modified, such as postal, courier, and delivery services in the B3 City Center Zone as permitted. And then there's amusement parks, which are something that will go to the council for approval, but rather than fitting in with the B1, B2, which are the general commercial that we see mostly along Apache Trail and Old West Highway, rather it was more characteristically fit within the B4 and B5 industrial class zones, and so that has been moved there. And additionally, this is something that has been changed since it was uploaded into the agenda packet. And because of that, I've left a little slip in front of all of you that within the residential land use table, accessory dwelling units in all single-family residential zones have been changed as permitted by right, as the state law requires things. Within every residential zone, we see that they're permitted by right, and just as noting that, updating that. And so that is one item that will need to be updated within the motion in order to just include that change. I have all the paperwork prepared, but as it wasn't included within the actual agenda at that time, it will need to be addressed by motion as an amendment. And with this, we presented these amendments and these findings in our research to the Planning and Zoning Commission. At January 14th, earlier this year, they voted 7-0 to recommend the approval of the draft text amendment P24-1 AM. And again, as a matter of items of consideration tonight, it was broken into two items because Resolution 25-1 declares the document, which is the 2025 amendments to that zoning ordinance section. It will be public record, and then the Ordinance 1563 actually adopts that into the zoning ordinance itself, repealing and replacing conflicting provisions. So with that, I am happy to answer any questions you may have for me tonight.
Okay, any questions?
No.
Okay. Don't see any questions. All right. I will now open the public hearing. There's a 5-minute time limit with a 1-minute warning that you will hear. Please state your name and address for the record. Anyone wish to speak on both of these? And I see no movement, so I will now close the public hearing and ask for a motion for item number 10, ordinance number 1563.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that ordinance 1563 be read by title only and regarding and reading of the entire ordinance be waived.
Second.
Roll. Do I have a second?
Yes, she seconded.
Oh, she second? I heard her cough. I didn't hear the second. Okay. Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Heck,
Yes.
Councilmember Cross,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Soller,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes. Ordinance number 1563, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Apache Junction, Arizona, amending Apache Junction City Code, Volume 2, Land Development Code, Chapter 1, Zoning Ordinance, Article 1-5, Zoning Bulk and Use Regulations, and by adopting by reference that certain document entitled 2025 Amendments to the Apache Junction City Code, Volume 2, Land Development Code, Chapter 1, Zoning Ordinance, Article 1-5, Zoning Bulk and Use Regulations, repealing any conflicting provisions, providing for severability, and providing for penalties.
Okay. Do I have a second motion to adopt 1563?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that ordinance number 1563 as read by the city clerk and including the amended chart we got be approved.
Would be a supplemental of materials provided by staff.
Yeah, those words.
How about that?
Be approved.
Second.
Got it.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Soller,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Cross,
Yes.
Councilmember Heck,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Well, we don't have any old business or any new business.
Don't we have to do the second one?
We have to do the second.
Yeah, we need the resolution.
Oh, okay.
Resolution.
I thought I saw,
Number
I
11.
put my thumb on it. Do I have a motion for item number 11, resolution number 25-01?
Your Honor, I move that Resolution 25-01, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the City of Apache Junction, Arizona, declaring the document 2025 amendments to the Apache Junction City Code, Volume 2, Land Development Code, Chapter 1, Zoning Ordinance, Article 1 through 5, Zoning Bulk and Use Regulations 15-1, Residential Use Regulations, and 15-3, Non-Residential Use Regulations as a public record filed with the city clerk be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch who the second was.
Give
Thank
it to
you.
Brian.
Right.
Thank you. Councilmember Cross,
Yes.
Councilmember Soler,
Yes.
Councilmember Heck,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser.
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, repeat, no old business, no new business. Council direction to staff. Direction to staff to change the mayoral term from 2 years to 4 years. Joel?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, for the past, I don't know how long you've been talking about it, but you have desired to possibly take this to the voters to make the term of the mayor from 2 years to 4 years, starting in the next election. So this is the first step. So if you do this, and the motion's before you, then at the next meeting, you will have a resolution that calls the election and also provides the question for the voters. And the city clerk and I have been working on this. And so we do have a timeline. It is possible to get this on the election for November. And if you have any questions, we will take them now.
Any questions?
No.
I'm going to make a quick comment because, again, this is something I brought up in the aspect on it because, number one, running for, every 2 years, granted, I just got elected again. Well, really and truthfully, in about 4 months, I'd be out starting to get signatures to get back on the ballot again for next year. And so you're just, every other year you're doing it. And I do believe it's for, I'll say a smooth working council. Being a 4-year term is the best thing for it.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I can also appreciate the fact that this isn't something that you're doing for your own purposes because you're planning on not running anymore.
Yes.
And so it's not a selfish thing, it's for the betterment of our entire council.
Thank you. Okay, can I have a motion for that?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that direction to staff, the direction to staff be given to take any and all action and bring forth any and all resolutions necessary to change the mayoral term from 2 years to 4 years.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Soler.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser.
Yes.
Councilmember Cross.
Yes.
Councilmember Heck.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you all. Okay. Now, we're going to get done early tonight. Call to the public. I would like to remind everyone the call to the public is a courtesy and not required by law. It's a time for the public to express requests, communications, comments, and suggestions. Requests to speak forms must have been completed and handed to the city clerk before the end of the city manager's report. All issues shall be presented in a professional manner without personal attacks. Underneath the open meeting law, council cannot engage in a discussion on issues presented, but may respond to criticism and may direct staff to follow up with the speaker directly or place this matter on a future agenda for council's discussion. There's a 3-minute time limit for each speaker. And I have 2. I've got to uncover them here. Kathleen Meek.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Catherine Meek, 1327 South Bel Air Road. I had a busy week last week after the State of the City event. The next night, Thursday night, I was able to go out and help with Earth Heart Garden. I'm sure you're aware Earth Heart Community Garden has a nice little park out there. They're working on a food forest. And Thursday night, with the help of the AJ Police Cadets, Explorer Cadets, we dug 9 holes and planted 9 trees. Actually, we dug 10 holes. There's one more tree that's going to be planted, or probably has been by now. So we're looking forward to some more fresh fruit in the next few years as the trees thrive and start producing. Then on Sunday afternoon, my husband and I went to the Heard Museum's Hoop Dance World Championship. If you came out to Superstition Mountain Museum during our Native American Festival, you saw little Victor Duncan, 8 years old, hoop dance. He won the Youth Division World Championship at the Heard Museum. Also, 3 of the Duncan men, his dad and his 2 uncles, Sky Duncan won 6th place in the adult championship. His father, Tony, had a moment, he won 3rd place, and his uncle, Talon, won 2nd place. The World Championship was a repeat of last year. Last year, Talon and the World Champion had a dance-off. So they are just right in the running for the championship. So next year, hopefully we'll have the Duncans out again and they can perform. You can see some world champions before they win the next title. Also, one last thing, Superstition Mountain Museum on March 8th is having a fundraiser. It's celebrating the magic of Mexican artistry. We'll have the Encore Quartet playing music out there. We're going to have beer, wine, tapas, and some raffle baskets, and hopefully a few silent auction items. Come out and enjoy the sunset on the Superstitions, and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Donna Carr?
Donna Carr, Apache Junction resident. I'm hoping that the people that actually support the people of AJ are the ones that go and help with the state legislation. Because I think this whole thing about trying to put 8-story buildings on any road that connects one town to the other, and considering we're a checkerboard, that's every friggin' road there is, I don't think that they belong blocking off the view of the Superstition Mountain. It's the 2nd most photographed mountain in the United States. First is the Grand Canyon. And I know I've probably said this before, but the fact is that when it was said that we need more revenue, we need to get bigger because we need more revenue, well, you don't need more revenue unless you get bigger. And so, I mean, most of the people of AJ didn't want to grow and become some big elaborate city. And I know I didn't. And I think it was about a year ago, I remember one of the leeches showing up here. Well, okay, lobbyist showing up to one of our meetings. And to me, that's a leech. So I'm not sure the way things are going with Doge and whether or not it's going to affect us. We might want to think about that. And I'm hoping, and I really do, Bambi, Daryl, Robert, and Peter, I hope you do stand behind the people of AJ and what the people want, not what you have on your own agenda. Thank you.
Okay, any comments from City Council? Okay, I will adjourn. Thank you.